Good evening, sports fans from all. And this is your May 12th, 2022. As we get ready here, Bruins must win game 6 or they will be golfing, as our buddy Andrew McGinnis this afternoon had a nice backdrop of the golf course, which we're hoping that the Bruins won't be golfing after tonight, and they'll be getting ready for a game 7 Saturday in Carolina. Astros finished up business on the the game that was stopped due to rain yesterday, and they just win 11-3. They come right back at 4:40 for the second game. Winder versus, who was that one? Scotty's on the other side there. Garcia, Mr. Garcia there. Short MLB schedule already. The Miracle Mets of 2022 with Walker win 4-1. Oakland defeats Detroit 5-3. I talked to Scotty about that. I thought Detroit being favored there. Leaned Oakland there. Baltimore 3-2. Hicks scratched, Mats in, and Mats loses 3-2 there. 4 game 6s in the NHL, 2 game 6s in the NBA. So without further ado, let's bring him on. The one, the only, Mr. Scott E. Webb. Afternoon, Scotty.
Hey, Jeff. And just FYI for you, so because that St. Louis game, there's nothing wrong with Hicks. He's no injury there. He's going to pitch tomorrow. So they decided. Go ahead.
Who do they got tomorrow?
They're the Giants. So
I'd rather have a pitching against Baltimore.
Well, St. Louis said, "Hey, we need a non-left-handed pitcher to pitch against the Giants." So they wanted. That's why they threw Mats today, and not Hicks. So anyway, that was a last-minute shuffle. But he's not hurt. No injuries.
I much appreciate that. You know something? You brought it up, so I'm gonna. You've talked about the NL West, and we know it's the Dodgers. I think when we were doing our preseason breakdowns, I think it was Westgate had them beating the Padres by 12.5 and the Giants by 14.5. I think that was it. And all the teams are over 500. But quietly, the Giants have woken up, Scott. And I know we don't believe, Webb's been pitching good. Listen, you wheel out Webb and Rodon, that's a solid 1-2 punch. I'm not comparing it to, Pedro Martinez and Schilling or anything like that. But the fact of the matter is that a good 2 punch team that overachieved last year, that never backed down. Yeah, a couple people has left the building. I still think, Scott, they're a dangerous team.
Well, I don't know that they got. But here's what they have. They have pitching, and that keeps them in games, and they have pitching that goes deep in games. So even guys like Alex Wood, who is 3-4 on their starter list, he goes deep in the games. Rodon goes 7-8 innings. Webb goes as long as he can go. I mean, he's a soft tosser kind of guy, but he goes pretty deep into games. So that saves their bullpen, and their bullpen's been pretty good. And that's considering what's that left-handed guy's name that comes out of the bullpen for them? He's not been very good. They just put him on the IR, by the way. But anyway, they have been a surprise on offense to me, because last year the reason I don't like the Giants is not because I don't like the Giants, for God's sakes. If you can make money on a team, shit, you gotta like everybody. The issue is more about how are they going to score. And to be honest with you, the Giants offense, I'm trying to get it right here for you. The Giants offense is last year they had I don't know, was it Brandon Crawford and it was Buster Posey and the third baseman there. Those guys all had they had
Belt.
All those guys were just way above career years for all of them. Well, they don't back that up with career years again. But here we go. The number one guy on the team right now is Brandon Crawford. He's at .9 WAR. Now that's not the best. That's a lot of that's from defense. Let's switch this to offense. So the number one guy on offense is Brandon Belt, but he's only played 20 games of their 30 games, so he's missed a lot already. So they need him back in the lineup on a regular basis. And then Austin Slater, for God's sakes. Who is Austin Slater? I mean, I know who he is, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, why is he there? Wilmer Flores, Jock Peterson. Okay, these guys are picking up the ball where some of these other guys just aren't.
And that's what they did last year. Listen, the whole year, the whole world waited for the Dodgers to catch them. They never did. They got to a point. Listen, you and I were born at night, not last night. There was a point where you just waved the white flag and says, they're not going to catch them. I don't care if they're a half game back. They weren't going to catch them. Now, they got their revenge, obviously, but it was just like someone every night. And that was even with a bad year from Yaz. Yaz had a good first year. He stunk last year. Was hoping that he'd get better. But they seem to be able to put the pieces together. And you talked about Jock Peterson. That's a perfect fit for them there.
There's no question. I mean, Jock Peterson has filled a role for them that they needed. They don't have a lot of power guys, and he's one of them. Belt's one of them. They're both left-handed hitters, which isn't necessarily the greatest thing to have. You should have one left, one right. But regardless, that team has found a way to produce enough runs. But again,
you freeze up on me, brother?
You're going to come down. You're going to come. Hey, there we go. So I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, Jacob Junis. You remember Jacob Junis from the Kansas City Royals?
Correct.
Well, holy shit. Now he's a damn Giant. He's going out there. I don't know what's going on with this team. I mean, I don't know what they do out there. They like that Jolly Green Giant guy eats them green beans and stuff. Maybe they give this guy, Popeye spinach or something, and he can go pitch.
Well, here's the funny about this is the fact that the Padres are doing it without Tatis. Okay, they're all in, so they'll make a move if they have to. Their pitching's long enough, and I think if they still stay healthy, they're going to be a threat. It's the Dodgers. They're going to win the division. We know that. And obviously, Colorado and Arizona have gotten off to fast starts. So it's an intriguing division, and it's great for the late night, getting ready, trying to decompress and catching one of their games. They're just a fun team to watch. And I don't know why I decided to throw them out there and start the show with them. But I was watching them, and it seems like a different guy every day. And last year, it was those veterans that just glued that together. And the addition of Rondon, listen, they grab a wild card spot, hats off. I mean, last year and this year, what they have like 102 wins last year or something stupid.
100 a lot. I think they had 107, and the Dodgers had 106.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is that their over under this year was like almost a 20 game difference. I mean, that was how much Vegas disrespected what they did this year and what they were expecting
Yeah,
this
but I
year. Last year,
disrespected them even farther because I don't think they're gonna win that many games.
and I know why I was on this tangent because I was watching the boys this morning on VSiN, and I think right now, and I talked to you off the air about this last night or the day before, about a month in now, 5 weeks. Let's see what the readjusted over-unders are. And they were at 88.5.
88.5 from Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you that my numbers from I got to pull them up here if they'll come up. There they are. My numbers are saying they should be 85. That they'll win 85 games. And the contest number was 84.5, and I said under 84.5. So we're pretty close. We're okay. We're not in trouble on them. We're in trouble on a couple, but not them.
Well, like I said, it's a short board. I wanted everyone to get up here and see where, if anything has changed from the breakfast bankroll to where we are now. The ECSI VIPs, you have received the 2 plays for today. I can come out and say, Scott, I think we went against you on one of them. We grabbed plus 105 with the Twinkies, first 5. And we're on a hockey game today. The rest of the bases, I think personally that there was, I like where your eyes are with the Phillies. Maybe you grab the Phillies first 5 and the Dodgers find a way to win. Not a real feel on Cincy Pittsburgh. Same with Kansas City, Texas. I stayed away. I could have got cute and taken Cease first 5. I don't know enough about Gill, but I'm not getting in front of the Yankee train. They find ways. So, but the board is yours, my friend.
Yeah, I didn't play that Minnesota game with I didn't like it in terms of I think Winder's going to get hit. So, but my concern is if they hit the first game, I don't know if they're going to hit the second game. And they hadn't seen him, and they did hit the first game. So they just stayed away. So I'm like, the hell with that. I think there's a little bit of value here. What time is it? 4:30. I think there's a little bit of value here in Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. And what I mean by this in value and play is these teams played each other. These 2 pitchers' last start was against each other. And typically what happens when a pitcher starts one game and then his next rotation starts against the same team, they do an opposite. They don't do the same thing. They do an opposite. And Overton threw a game score 57 and Brubaker threw a game score 62. Now the game was 9-2. So that was an over. But the reason it went over is because of the bullpens, not because of the 2 starters that started the game. Cincinnati beat up on Pittsburgh's bullpen that day. So I'm expecting these 2 starting pitchers to struggle a little bit today. Brubaker has, over this course of his career, started many times against Cincinnati. He's got a game score 50, which is average. So if it's average, that means he should give up at least 4 runs, 4 or 5 runs. And if you're looking at Cincinnati, Overton's made 2 starts. They got him from Miami. He's been really good for them. But he hasn't had any setbacks yet. His game score is a 57 for the season. So I expect, and he's not a strikeout guy. So I'm expecting lots of contact, and Pittsburgh's been hitting the ball pretty well. So I expect offense in this game. So I think you should be looking at over 8, especially when you start to think about, oh my God, these guys aren't going to go but 4 or 5 innings in these starting pitchers. And then you got the bullpens that come into play. And these are some of the worst bullpens you ever heard of in your life. So you're talking 8 runs. I think 8 runs over is a gimme here. And then the only other game I like on the board today is I like Philadelphia and I like Wheeler today. I think Wheeler's got his stuff straightened out. His velocity is at 95 miles an hour. It was lower than that. He's throwing, last year he threw 97, so he is down a couple miles an hour. But I'm not worried about 97 to 95. I'm worried about 92 to 89. that's a different drop. But Wheeler's doing pretty well, and his last few starts have been really good. He has shown good success against the Dodgers in terms of the last couple years. But if you go back before, I don't go back before 2019. I just think the teams change their hands too much and the teams do too much. So I don't like to look at what players do before that because it's a different team and different players, different eras. Anyway, he was bad against the Dodgers before that. So he's been halfway decent lately against the Dodgers. And what sticks out to me like a sore thumb in this game is Anderson's pitched well for the Dodgers. And all you got to do is roll the ball up there and let people hit it to grounders, and they'll get you out. But his issue is he has an 85.5% left on base percentage. The average in Major League Baseball for that, by the way, is about 75. So if you're at 85, that's going to switch up on you because you don't. It's just you're going to get to about average unless you're one of those, super stud pitchers that can go out there and strike everybody out. So and he's not that. So I expect there to be some regression for him, and I expect, especially right now, Philadelphia's got some guys that are hitting, which I think makes this a good dog situation for me, and I like that spot. The only other thing I'll tell you is if you want a couple of prop bets, Jeff, I got a couple of those. If you want some of that tonight, I think Gene Segura and Bryce Harper. Take them over 1.5 total bases. You can get them at plus 145, plus 140. These two guys are leading their offense right now, and they also hit Anderson very well. If I could flip it to my other screen, I can tell you. They Harper's got a home run against them. Segura's got a home run against them. Plus, they've got quite a few hits against them. I like Freeman in the same game over 1.5. Total bases at plus 135. He bats over 400 against Wheeler, so that's an interesting thing, especially when you like Wheeler's side. You got the best hitter on the other team that's going to hit him. And then in this other game, I don't think. Oh, that's already started, so we can't get to it. But Winder, I liked Winder over 3.5 strikeouts at plus 112. Was the prop bet. But I also did, let me see if I could switch off to one other thing. I wanted to give you some information maybe that we've been talking a lot about run lines. And we've been talking, and you said, I bet 2 home favorite run lines, and I don't normally do that. All right, so I did the work today, and I'll tell you this. On money line home favorites are 179 wins, 117 losses. That's a winning percentage of 604. Okay, that's how many times they win. Now, that doesn't take into consideration that they're probably minus 130, minus 140, minus whatever, right? On the run line, the home favorite, and this is where the run line comes into play a lot, but the home favorite is 121 wins, 181 losses, and that is a winning percentage of 400. It's 401 really. So when you look at it from that perspective, you got to sit there and go, well, that's where the run line comes into play. So then I started thinking, well, why don't we look at like let's look at away favorites on the run line, and what are they like? Well, away favorites on the run line are 82 and 87. So they don't win as many as you think they do on the road. So we do like that extra at bat. But if they don't get the win, it's not that big a deal. So when I'm looking at this, yes, there's a pretty big significant difference between a money line home favorite and a run line home favorite in terms of won-loss percentage. That's a lot. 60 games is a lot when we only played, 1 month. But at the same time, if you did the run line, you're still losing a little bit too. So then you go, well, let's just do these home dogs and do all this stuff. Well, the home dogs only win by 5 more games. They're saying it's just opposite of the away favorite. So it's an interesting thing how the run line makes everything split. And then the home favorite on the money line changes things too with that bigger number. And then I was looking at first fives, right? No, these aren't first fives. These are just money line totals. These are every team, and I ranked them based on units won, right? So the number one team you could be betting on right now is the Arizona Diamondbacks. They're plus 9.95 units. They're 21-11. So the interesting thing are teams like the Philadelphia Phillies. They're 11-20. And what is that? That's 12 minus 12.67 units. These are first fives, by the way. These aren't full, So I try to figure out, okay, is it better to do how should you bet first fives, right? Because when you look at it from a perspective of starting pitchers, your first five, you should probably have teams that have good pitching. And if you look at it, the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams, here they are: Arizona Diamondbacks, Houston Astros, San Francisco Giants, New York Mets, Los Angeles Dodgers. All good pitchers. They're all good pitchers. And then the bottom 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have Kansas City Royals, Washington Nationals, Detroit Tigers, Cincinnati Reds, Philadelphia Phillies. Those are the teams that you look at and go, well, there's no wonder they don't win in the first 5 innings. They're getting behind in the first 5 innings because their pitchers are bad. So I guess the food for thought here is if you're going to change your games and go to first 5 innings, make sure you have a pitching advantage. Because if you have a pitching advantage, you're more likely to come out on top than you are not to come out on top, because I think that's where the difference is.
The Phillies, I think, is an outlier. They do have 2 decent starting men, and Nola just, they scored 3 for him, he gives up 4. They scored 1 for him, he gives up 2. And Wheeler it's almost, when we talk first fives, you're lots of times looking at minus 180s, 190s, and we're trying to get in there. So we'll eat a little juice, minus 115, sometimes 120, but minus the hook. So they got to win by 1 there. But no, that's great information. And again, we're, the 5th week in right now. So the more data we get, the better off we are. And just because you had a great April doesn't mean you're going to have a great May. And just because you had a bad April doesn't mean you're going to have a bad May. Again, shortened spring training, weather warming up. We still don't know what's going on with the balls, but it is what it is. So
I will say this: the teams that had bad Aprils need to get their crap together in May, or if they have 2 bad months, they're done.
Well, like I says, there could be a lot of movement here in Boston come in June and July. So with that said, the 2 NBA games, Miami and Philly. Philly opened at 2.5. Still, it's down to 2 at the Circuit, 2.5 everywhere else on the Vegas Strip. 2 at DraftKings as we speak right now. Personally, if you like the 76ers, please just take the money line. Don't get beat by 1 or 2. So I think the Sixers find a way to get to a game 7. That's all I'll say there. We'll know early in that game. Phoenix and Dallas. I think Dallas finds a way to get to a game 7. Phoenix opened up at 2, still 2 at all spots, but Westgate. Westgate is 1.5. If you like Phoenix and you see a 1.5, if you want to play the money line, God bless you. Ticket splits at Wager Talk right now. 58% of the tickets, 71% of the money, all coming in on Phoenix. Yet there's a line freeze and even a half-point drop at Westgate with John Murray and company there. We've gone over the bases as we speak. And currently Houston with a 1-0 lead, bottom of the second. FYI, fantasy players, Mr. Tucker is heating up. That's all I'm going to say there. In hockey, guys, okay, I had Andrew McGinnis on 4 game 6s. All the VIPs know where we stand with the Bruins. We got them even for a unit. We got them plus 170 for a unit. They opened up at 130, now down to 120, 125 at South Point. Listen, all the VIPs that are listening, and I put it in the alert, if you want to put a unit on Carolina because you're getting nervous, go ahead. I felt very, very confident in game 3. I felt confident in game 4, less confident in game 5, and I'm 50-50 split. I'm just going to hold on to dear life. Hope the Bruins get out early. Hope Swayman stands on his head and they find a way to get to Saturday, and then we'll figure out Saturday. All right, guys, this is the lesson of the day right here. Tampa Bay is 17-0 with Valesky after a loss in the playoffs the last 3 years. The whole world knows this. They're down 3-2. They're back home. Vegas opened up the line at 120 for a reason. I'm not telling you Tampa doesn't win today. The fact of the matter is Vegas knew all the money would be coming in on Tampa. Therefore, if they wanted Leaf money, they would open this up around 135, 140 and got the Leaf money. Instead, they opened it at 120. And as we speak, Tampa's been steamed to as high as minus 140 at DraftKings, 135 at South Point, and 135 at Westgate, 131 at Circa. So is Tampa the right side? Well, I mean, like I always say, I wasn't at the wedding. I'm not coming to the funeral. Good luck for all the Lightning fans. We have a Toronto Leaf series ticket. If they win in 6, we'll cash it tonight. If not, we hope we cash it on Saturday. Minnesota and St. Louis. I can tell you the sharp side today is the Wild. The Blues are now favored. It's a pick 'em at 105, 105. Blues opened up at 115 there, and the road teams have had great success in this. So again, if you like the home ice with the Blues, good luck. I think the Wild find a way to make it to a game 7. And Edmonton, LA, this opened up at 160, a corrected overnight line of 134. It is now 140 at South Point in DraftKings as Edmonton tries to make that series to a game 7. Closing thoughts, Scotty.
Yeah, I think we're getting into the point where I saw some stuff coming out about MVPs and things like that for Major League Baseball. I think it's a little too early for. I shouldn't say it's never too early to make wagers on stuff like that. I think that if you make the wagers now, though, you're really risking injuries and other things that come along. Because Mike Trout's right up there, and if he missed what the last 2 seasons, a lot of those games. So you're looking at stuff like that. Fernando Tatis hasn't even played yet, and not that he's going to be an MVP in half a year, but holy shit, that guy's pretty good. So who knows when he comes on what's going to happen. Freddie Freeman's up there in the National League and those guys. So it's an interesting thing to see how all that stuff plays out. I would just say, that you'll have a good idea of what's going on around July 4th when it comes to those kind of guys and what's happening with them, because you can be a really good player like Juan Soto and play on a really bad team like the Washington Nationals, and you can be in the hunt, but you're never going to win. So if you made your wager on Juan Soto already, I'm hoping that he gets a chance to play well. But they got Josh Bell and they got Nelly Cruz to trade at the trade deadline. They need more players. So then what's going to happen to Soto? He's going to walk 700 times in the second half of the season. So just be careful on what you're looking at when you're wagering on these guys. And I would certainly say he's out of the question on that kind of thing.
Well, I do have a pre-flop 40-1 and from Vegas for him to win the home run title. He has 7. So I hope you're wrong there. A recap on the shows this week, a prop and a future. Today on the show with Andrew McGinnis, he gave a prop. His best play today was over 2.5 shots on net by Brandon Point of the Tampa Bay Lightning. So if your site has that and you want to throw a little beer and pizza money on that, over 2.5 shots for Brandon Point for the Lightning tonight. And Julian Edlow on Wednesday gave out Colts even money right now. It is on DraftKings, and if your site has that to win the division, he basically broke it down as a 2-horse race between them and the Titans. He eliminated the Jags in Houston there. So he feels that by closer to kickoff, they'll be around minus 130, 40, or even 50. So Colts even money there. The schedule is coming out at 8. Again, it's mostly already on Twitter. For the locals, Patriots open up at South Beach against Miami. Miami comes back on New Year's Day. to Foxborough. The Pats week 4 head to Green Bay at 4 o'clock to face Aaron Rodgers. The Patriots game 3 of Thanksgiving, the 8 o'clock game or 8:20 game at Minnesota. And week 15, book it now, at Las Vegas to face Josh McDaniels. And Mr. Stidham is now a Raider as well, as they will be facing the Raiders in week 15 and whatever the rest of the schedule comes out. So a lot in just 30 minutes. And also the Kentucky Derby winner, Strike Rich, has passed on the Preakness, which is a smart move. And he's going to get ready for the Belmont there. And at this point, if they didn't race another race, those guys are set for life. And congrats again to them. So if you are wagering this evening or already have, please do it responsibly. If you have a problem, pick up the phone. There's an 800 number. Ask for help. Why? Myself and Scotty care. We'd like to see you here today, tomorrow, next week, next month, through 2022 and beyond. From myself, Jeff Dawson at EC Sports Invest, from Scotty Webb at Webby20MLB, we wish everyone a blessed day. If you're bored tonight, you want to catch me on Diehards with Anthony Pepe at 9:25. I will be on before Mr. Sean McAdam. So I guess I better take it easy on all my Red Sox takes, because last time I was on before McAdam, I blasted Rich Hill, and Anthony was not happy with me, especially with McAdam coming on, and egg on my face because Walker and Hill have been lights out. So everyone, enjoy, and catch myself and Riley tomorrow around 10 a.m., 10:15 for the Breakfast Bankroll. Have a good night. See you soon.